Whether you already sell on Amazon Business or you're just considering it as an opportunity, you're in a great session. On Amazon Business, we sell directly to business customers. And over the next 25, 30 minutes, we'll give you a roadmap for growing your B2B business. Not just grow your sales, but optimize your business, lowering the fees that you pay by using Amazon programs. So who's presenting to you today? My name is Brandon Acey. I'm a senior product manager for Amazon Business. And this is Chris Medina. He's a strategic account manager for Amazon Business. And we work as part of a larger team and organization to develop the programs that we'll be showing you today and to help you adopt them. So now that you know we want to help you grow your B2B business, this is the roadmap for how we're going to be doing it. We'll start by talking about pricing strategies. These are easy to adopt, and they have so much upside. Then we'll talk about bulk selection and what you have to gain by offering your product in bulk configurations. And lastly, we'll talk about business delivery. And you're going to be blown away by the impact it has on your business delivering your products during business hours.
Thanks, Brandon. So we'll start with some pricing strategies. And I see a couple familiar faces here, and they're going to be tired of me saying this, but we really see this as kind of a ground floor kind of just initiative, right? The pricing strategies and to be able to structure everything is going to really open up the door to different programs, to different mindsets, to different opportunities. And when we go throughout this exercise, I want people to really understand that, you know, we want to be kind of intentional in terms of how you are going to price while maintaining that margin. And, you know, we all have our relationships with each other, but what I will say, it's not always a race to the bottom, right? So we are going to definitely be working with you, and you guys are actually going to see that you know, the relationships that we have built with our third-party sellers are going to continue to blossom. We continually look at these types of stats here, and obviously the reason why is because we want to kind of twist that Rubik's Cube of how much we can go and save and what the potential cost savings are from like a unit economic standpoint, margin standpoint, and then ultimately build a more creative strategy when going into attack those biggest business buyers. And so we've made a lot of progress, particularly in Amazon Business, and trying to develop programs where we're not going to, again, go to that race to the bottom, but provide some support from, you know, a fee standpoint, right? That's on top of everybody's mind. So what we're going to be talking about here, you're going to see a little bit of a theme in that we're going to be launching different programs, whether you're MFN or FBA, we're going to be there to really support you guys. So here's the first one, FBA. We're actually going to be launching a program where we're going to try and incentivize all the third-party sellers that we work with, anybody that we work with, frankly, to offer different quantity discounts where usually it didn't make any sense, right? And so for multi-unit orders, we're going to provide some support and fulfillment fee reduction. And ideally with that, you know, with the savings badge and with obviously the ease of FBA, you're still going to be conducive to that business buyer. And frankly, everything that we talk about today, we hear from our business buyer. As part of AB and with the different programs that we do, we have really fought to build a connective tissue to the buy side. Right? We're hearing from our largest government buyers, our largest private buyers. So everything that we do is ultimately to serve them, but we are trying to be as great of a partner as humanly possible to the people that are, you know, selling on behalf of us. So here is this little matrix for you, and for those that have been to Super Bowl parties, it really works like football squares. And so to think about this FBA quantity discount, there are some qualifications, right? Number one, obviously FBA. Number two, you can see on the screen here that the business price or the quantity discount, the business discount, has to be at least 3% off the standard price, right? And so for that to order 2 units or more, has to be the same unit, obviously, right? And so we'll go through an example of how this would work. So as you kind of take a look at this, let's do a little bit of a hypothetical where we are selling that small standard 6 to 10 ounce package, okay? And you sell 6 units, right? Your standard price is $10, your business price is $9, and then you get a QD discount, quantity discount between 4 to 8 units of $8.10, right? So if you think about that 3% margin, right, that threshold, the minimum that we're looking for is a 30% off, or 30-cent discount off your standard price. Now you can do the math. You have $1.90 in between your standard price and QD. So you are blowing past that, that threshold. So you qualify. And again, like football squares, you're going to go in between the 5 to 9 units. You're going to go from the size of the package. That's where you get to the 54 cents. And you're just going to multiply that by the number of units that were ordered, which you see gives you a $3.24 fulfillment savings. So with that being said, I wanted to quickly just pivot to another program. And again, as you kind of walk through these different opportunities and try to frame your mindset with this, just understand that this is all just being based off of the different B2B buying patterns. So with that being said, bulk order discount, right? We're going to start giving some relief on fees for anything over $1,000. And this is going to be both for MFN and FBA. So again, same qualifications as the FBA ones, but obviously we're going to be adhering to MFN as well. But you're going to have that 3% in your mind when you try to kind of balance all the different components to it. And the reason why I say different components is because these are stackable, right? So you can do multiple programs at the same time and stack those referral fee savings. And so we'll do a little bit of an example. And before I get into the big example, this is going to work a lot like our custom quote engine. So it's stacked in terms of the tiers. So if you take a look at this example right here, if you sell something for $5,000, the first 1,000 of that 5,000 is going to be at your normal fee rate. The next 4,000 will then be at that discounted rate, whether you're at 15, 10 to 12, or 7 to 8. Right, just to make a little sense of that. So to give you the bigger example, let's say that $9,000 order, right? First is at your standard 15% in this example. The next 4,000 is going to be at that discounted 12%. Next 4,000 is going to be at that discounted 10%. So you can see how it's tiered. So ideally, the entire 9,000 would be at that 10%, right? But we're going to try and meet in the middle with you guys. So that'll be the total fee savings as you would see there compared to the normal 15% rate. So I like to show this slide because a lot of people go here when they start thinking about their pricing strategies. This is an amazing place to start, right? This is your managed inventory, and it's a great place to kind of get a holistic view, but super manual. Ideally, what we want to do is we want to start pushing in the direction of how to automate pricing and automate your strategies so that you guys aren't pricing managers, right? We want you guys to really just focus on what you guys really do well, and that's sell on Amazon. So we look at it in 2 different components within Seller Central, and I kind of look at it outside of Seller Central. Right? Within Seller Central, you can go into your menu, you can go into your pricing, go to automate pricing, and you have a couple different ways that you can go and automate everything. Number one, you can do an umbrella component to everything, right? You have 100 products, all relatively the same margin, do the business catalog rule, right? 1% across the board, boom, all good to go. It'll be automated if you just update your standard price. Then you have a custom price, right? Where you can kind of, create custom pricing rules for the different products, whether they have different margins, whether they're different types of SKUs, doesn't matter to us. You can create that. Now, when you get up to a certain threshold in terms of how many SKUs you guys sell, it doesn't make a ton of sense to use Seller Central, right? We believe in our pricing tools, we do. But when you start getting into the multi-thousands, hundreds of thousands, it gets a little bit sticky. So that's why we go and we try and encourage people to go and use 3PIs, APIs if you have your own internal development team. And ultimately, again, the whole idea is you just focus on selling what you sell. So here's kind of really what it looks like. This is within Seller Central. Again, if you have any questions on kind of the different components and how to execute, again, more than willing to kind of point you guys in the right direction. So as we kind of go through this process, I just, we really want, again, this to be phase one mindset, because there is a North Star at the end of the day. You and everybody that sells on Amazon, you figure out your pricing strategy, you have a good feel for it. Again, that opens up the door to the bigger opportunities, right? The bigger deals, the bigger programs, the planned spend opportunities. It's endless, but you have to kind of nail down the blocking and tackling of selling, and it's going to be with pricing.
Let's continue on this journey of growing your B2B business by talking about bulk selection. Business customers, your customers, they want to buy in bulk. Businesses have fundamentally different demand than end consumers, right? And end consumer supply needs will be in the ones and twos. Businesses' supply needs are in the hundreds, they can even be in the thousands. And so ordering in large quantities is top of mind for these businesses to optimize for pricing, to optimize for receiving inventory, and optimizing for a number of other variables. But you don't need to take my word for it. The data speaks for itself in a really compelling way. In the last calendar year, case pack sales grew more than 15% faster than single unit sales on Amazon Business. Now, I want to help you to not only meet this demand and capitalize on it, but accelerate this demand and grow your top and bottom lines as we do that. So to support and advance the bulk vision, Amazon has created the package hierarchy program. Some of you may be familiar, some unfamiliar. A package hierarchy is 2 or more quantity configurations of the same product. Walking through an example to bring it to life is our Amazon Basics copy paper. Now, we sell a single ream of copy paper. We also sell a case pack that contains 10 of those exact same reams, and then we sell a pallet which contains 40 of those case packs. Now, you can imagine different customers having demand for each of these, right? A real estate agent will order a single ream to print off the occasional housing report. The facilities manager for a small tech company will order the case pack to stock up the 3 printers across their company headquarters. And a superintendent will order the pallet at the beginning of the school year to stock up each of the schools in their district. Now, when a package hierarchy is established, our goal is to variate those ASINs on the same detail page, meaning the single unit, the case pack, and/or the pallet appear on the same detail page for your customers. This means your case packs and your larger configurations become more discoverable for your customers, which means, as you can probably guess, more sales. Based on a large Amazon study done just earlier this year, merchandising that case pack and putting it on the same detail page leads to an increase of sales, leads to a 6% increase in sales conversion. What would a 6% increase in conversion for your product detail pages do for your business? Next time you go into Seller Central, if you go into the business report section, you can see your current conversion rates. Go ahead and calculate a 6% increase and see the impact that has on your sales. Putting case pack offers on the same detail page is a big win for your customers, which means it's going to be a win for you. And speaking of wins, when you enroll a case pack into package hierarchy, you receive referral fee discounts on all sales for that case pack going forward. If the case pack has between 2 and 9 units, you take 15% off your referral fee. Between 10 and 23 units, 20% off the referral fee. And you take a quarter of your referral fee off, 25% off, if your case pack has 24 or more units. So now, hopefully you're noticing that you're compounding this top line sales growth from the case pack. You're compounding that with the improved profit margin that comes, in part from these referral fee discounts. So how do you go forward with this? By the end of this slide, you'll know your starting point and the next step that would be for you for any given product in your catalog. So let's say that currently you sell a single unit ASIN. We'll use peanut butter as an example. So your business, you sell a single jar of peanut butter, and that's the only configuration of peanut butter you sell. Well, to enroll in package hierarchy, you're going to need a case pack. So your first step is going to be creating or starting to offer that case pack, whether it's a 12-pack, a 24-pack, a 48-pack, whatever it is. Now, if you're unsure if that's going to be worth the effort, the resources, or even the risk of merchandising that new case pack, one thing you can do is take a look at your historical sales for that single unit. Are customers buying it in multiple quantities at a time? If yes, then that demand may already be there, it may already be justified. Now you may be in a different starting point where you do sell a case pack. So you sell the 12-pack of peanut butter, but that's the only configuration you sell. To enroll in package hierarchy, you do need 2 or more configurations of that same product. So consider going up. Let's make a 48-pack, or you can even go down and start selling a single unit. Now, whether you started with a single unit and created a case pack, or you started with a case pack and you created another configuration, or if you're right now, to begin with, you have 2 or more configurations of the same product already, then you're ready to go. You're ready to enroll in package hierarchy. Now, I put receive a free custom opportunity report up here. And if you come talk to me after this session, I'd love to just get your business account, your email. And what I can do for you is pull a custom report based on the ASINs that you sell. Which ones are getting these multi-unit orders? Which ones are customers buying in bulk? I can send that over. I can also pull a report of your case packs that you sell that aren't enrolled in package hierarchy, right? So between those 2 things, those are kind of your low-hanging fruit for getting into the program. Great, now actually enrolling in package hierarchy, once you know where to begin. If you were in the position where you needed to create a case pack, you can create that case pack or configuration how you normally create your ASINs, whether that's directly in Seller Central, if it's through template uploads, or through APIs. Once you have the ASINs, you're going to download the download product spreadsheet. Okay. Now, there's a good chance that you or someone in your organization has already used this commonly used template in Seller Central. When you download the template, you're going to find the package hierarchy attributes. These 3 attributes are all that's required to enroll in package hierarchy. Package level, package contains SKU quantity, and package contains SKU identifier. Now, using the peanut butter example for how I would fill this out, I'm going to come in and say, I have a unit of the peanut butter. The next 2 cells are grayed out because a single unit doesn't contain any other SKUs. Then I have a case, which is the next row. And I'm going to indicate that the case contains 12 of the unit SKU. Lastly, I put pallet as the 3rd row. And I say the pallet contains 10 of the case SKU, case 1, 2, 3. So just between these 3 attributes, I've created this package hierarchy relationship that tells Amazon these 3 SKUs are the same product, just different size configurations, and this is how they fit into one another. Re-upload the template back into Seller Central, and you're enrolled. Of course, there are API options to automate and do this at scale. For those of you who build and maintain APIs internally, you can use the listings items API. And for those of you who want the value of APIs but aren't wanting to do the heavy lifting yourself, we have a suite of third-party integrators who can do that heavy lifting for you. You can find a directory for them in Seller Central, and we'll touch on that a little bit at the end.
Cool. So we just give you guys a couple of ways to save on referral fees. Now we're all best friends. And now the buyer has ordered something. So now what? Right? And so we've spent a lot of time, again, speaking with those business buyers. And one thing to really understand is that faster isn't always better. Right? We have, CEOs, we have procurement managers, right, that, have lives, right, and receiving packages that are very, very important to them. Arrive, on the weekends or at nights, right? It's a frustration quite a bit, and we hear it all the time. So we have been actively moving towards a business hour delivery rate so that we can kind of help you guys protect your guys' account health. So with that being said, it really comes down to the higher dollar value of these items, right? Business buyers buy, more frequently in higher bulk and right less returns if they get it the right way. And again, think about that CEO. Everybody here is an entrepreneur, or they, understand the procurement side of everything. And let's just say that CYA is top of mind for whoever's on the receiving end of that package. And one thing that we will say is that, again, we actively have this repository of data at Amazon. And so we want to share as much as we can with you. And the impact that we're seeing on these are more on the small sellers. The impact is higher on the small sellers. And frankly, it's just because Amazon wants to find a way to differentiate the sellers that are going to take this seriously. So unless you're, the Ascendants or the DeWalts or the Stanley Black & Deckers of the world, this is going to be something to really kind of focus your attention on. We've heard this a lot from sellers. And so we, as Amazon, we work with a ton of carriers, and we get it, right? But the one thing that we've started to understand is that carriers understand that it is 2025. Right? So they understand the difference between the B2B and the B2C delivery. So if you do have your own carrier relationships and they aren't adhering to that this condition, then switch. Right? There are plenty of carriers out there that we trust, that you guys can trust, whether it is parcel or freight, right? That will understand the nuances of delivering to that business customer, and then Amazon's going to have obviously some programs to help protect you. Right. Number one is buy shipping. I know a lot of people have heard about this. It's a program where we're going to offer some protection against those A to Z claims, right? And when you kind of hook into our system, you can use our negotiated rates, which is amazing. Amazon has great rates. A lot of you guys might have better rates than us. Perfectly fine. You can plug in your own negotiated rates into this and still get that protection, right? Because you're going to put the onus on Amazon to ultimately get that package to where it needs to go. And then, obviously we have signature confirmation. That's, obviously reduces the risk of, buyer abuse, if you will. And then SSA. We can talk through SSA. It's basically a historical component to everything. And, we analyze on how to help you essentially automate the back end, right? The last mile. Just getting to product A to destination B. So as we kind of work our way through this, right, we want everybody to grow beyond our own pricing automation in Seller Central, right? If you outgrow us, that's good for everybody. And so we do want everybody to really kind of consider, as you grow with us, what's the next step if you aren't already using an integrator. Right, so we have different partners. We can kind of talk through the pros and cons of each. Here's some of those. And then, here's just a little, a little display of how we view that integration, right? So as you start outgrowing the, automated Seller Central pricing tools, hit us up. We'll help you guys kind of integrate both, whether it's 3PI or if you guys are confident enough to develop it internally. And then, once we do that, again, the North Star is helping you guys just focus on what you do best, which is grow and sell on Amazon. Don't have to worry about all this nonsense. And then, honestly, the sky's the limit.